Hey everyone, we all know that feeling when you're playing ADC, cosplaying double lift in lane, but it's totally irrelevant because your support is AFK, staring at your laners and jungler, spending more time talking than playing, all while you're busy 1v2ing. Today we're going to show you how to make even the most idle of supports look good, as we sent challenger ADC Lattman into gold to see how he could still dominate the lane with bad supports. As a taste of what's to come, here's a preview of Lattman's Sona killing a scuttle crab while he's left to 1v2 in lane. Pretty standard, right? Oh, and if you're a support player, this guide should help you a ton with how you can default win the lane with correct positioning and identifying windows to punish mispositioning. Let's break down the matchup first. Lattman is playing Lucian Sona versus Draven Bard. Draven wins in damage while Lucian has more wave clear with Q. Their range is about even. Sona has slightly less damage than Bard, but with better sustain. The big takeaway is the damage is high on both sides versus squishy champions, which means that the right plays will pay off harder. Lucian's game plan should be, Mission 1, let Draven push. Lucian doesn't want to push the wave away from his tower, or he risks getting run down by Draven if someone gets hit by spinning axes. Mission 2, look for isolated trades. Having less damage doesn't mean that you are powerless. Timing trades on Draven's last hits or when his Bard leaves him alone in lane will be key to winning. And Mission 3, play parallel with range support. Playing parallel with range supports is essential to having any type of lane pressure. We'll talk more about this in the guide, along with what Draven should be doing as well. Let's jump into it. Lattman starts by leashing red buff. As he pulls off, we can see that Sona sticks around for too long while Lucian is on his way to lane. And then we can see that Draven is in lane early, meaning that he didn't leash. This seems bad, but it's totally fine for Lattman. This is because mission 1 is to let Draven push. By being in lane immediately, Lattman wouldn't be hitting the minions anyway as he wants to set up a freeze. So sure enough, Lattman gets into lane and we can see that Draven is pushing. This is great for Lattman and it highlights how most low elo players have no idea what to do with their leash advantage. Draven wants the level lead and it's good that he's securing it, but what Draven is not thinking about is what happens when you get a level lead. Can you tell what he's doing wrong? Draven wants level 2 first to run down the Lucian. But by pushing this hard, the wave will be near Lucian's tower when he gets level 2, which is where Lucian wants it and could farm safely even with a level down. Draven only needed to be a single minion ahead to secure level 2 and now he will likely end up with the wave in this spot instead of here when he hits level 2, dramatically reducing the chance that he can convert it into a meaningful lead. When you find yourself with a leash advantage, think to yourself, what are you trying to achieve in lane? To contrast, if this was an Ezreal or Karma versus a Draven lane, then they would want to push with their high wave clear to deny pressure and just harass from range with a level 2 lead. Whereas the Draven wants room in the lane to run down someone with level 2. Anyway, let's play out the next moment of this lane. While watching, try to identify why both bot lanes are playing incorrectly. Rolling it back, look at Draven. He's got an XP lead, but he's not pushing forward to punish Lattman for getting any of these melees. He's just hitting the casters, which won't get him anything. Granted, his Bard is probably AFK in this brush, but Draven should be at least threatening him by pushing up and encouraging his support to get aggressive here. And then soon after, Sona decides to AFK, likely playing some minigames, when she could be playing parallel to Lucian, ready to 2v1 punish any last hits if Draven steps up by himself. By playing parallel with your support, we basically mean side by side. By standing side by side, it means that the opposing lane cannot move forward unless they are also side by side. If Draven would walk up into their range, he would get hit by 2 people simultaneously, resulting in a lost trade. Therefore, Draven can only walk up and harass if his support is also parallel, so they can trade together. This is something that low elo players struggle with and is something that you can look to exploit for free trades. Note, this is only true for when you play with a ranged support. With a melee support, you need them to be directly in front of you when trading, and we'll talk more about that in the near future. Anyway, Sona decides to quit the arcade and start playing League, running directly into Draven for a trade with no apparent logic, as Draven isn't going for a last hit or anything and has a wave. However, since Bard is definitely AFK in that brush, if Lattman followed this up, then they could have traded positively here for mission 2, but correctly went for last hits instead. With Sona currently being proactive, now it's Lattman playing passively and Sona loses nearly all of her health bar for it. So what went wrong? Is this still Sona's fault? Well, here Draven doesn't have any last hits to get, and is safely with his ranged minions. So Sona's just walking into minions and tanking an auto. And then here, Sona is actually punishing on a last hit, but it's a melee. Lattman could have followed this up for mission 2, but wasn't on the same page. This is partly due to harass being more optimal if they went for it when Draven pushes up to CS casters, as he would push up further for them, resulting in Lattman tanking less damage from the opposing wave while punishing. And then this trade is especially bad. Sona's lane activity has motivated Bard to help Draven, and they definitely don't want to be walking up and taking a 2v2 trade here because they're a level down, and remember, they want to go for mission 2, which is to take isolated trades to win with less damage. Anyway, during these shenanigans, Draven did hit level 2 and Lucian was able to get the wave to his side safely for mission 1, though Draven didn't even attempt to take advantage with the level lead. With the lane now soft frozen in a safe spot and the levels equalized, it's time to start playing to missions 2 and 3 actively. Ideally, what he's looking for here is to stick with Sona around the ranged minions in the parallel position, meaning they can instantly fire upon whoever steps forward from the Bard Draven in an isolated trade. Bard ends up missing his Q, which removes a lot of their threat. If Lattman was playing in high elo here, he would E forward and hit the Bard for a short trade, but instead, he waits and focuses on his upcoming last hits. Why do you think that is? So high elo players stay more disciplined about playing parallel with a ranged support, so this would be a small window where Lattman can get a quick positive trade and he would take it. However, this is gold, so his opponents probably aren't going to play parallel for a long period of time. With Bard Q down, chances are in the next 11 seconds, Draven and Bard will once again split up, allowing for a trade that will actually change the lane. Sure enough, they were able to get Draven in an isolated trade while Bard is probably busy looking at other lanes while waiting for his Q. Lattman's patience here comes down to taking a little bit of risk for a much higher reward. The risk was missing a trade opportunity if they didn't end up separating, but the reward was an extended trade of damage onto the AD carry, which is a lot more valuable than the support given that he has to move forward in CS and also has less potions. After that amazing trade, Sona goes back to sleep, and it's at this point that most ADCs would just go in for what is a clear kill opportunity, hoping that their support will wake up and follow. But Lattman stays disciplined and pulls back. Check out the pings that he throws out onto the minimap now though. While Draven and Bard weren't parallel, they were grouped, with Sona sitting in the back. Lattman knows that he needs Sona to go all in, or at least trade with them for missions 2 and 3. The amount of pings that he dished out is exactly what you need to do to wake up your supports and get them on the same page. With Sona once again on the move, let's see what happens. Lattman patiently waited for Draven to go for a last hit before finally going all in. With an early heal to deny ignite, he picks up an easy kill for first blood. So we've talked about a lot, and perhaps your biggest takeaway should be about how Lattman played around his support very effectively, even though his support had no game plan and wasn't even moving half of the time. He did this while smartly avoiding trades with the Bard Lucian when they were grouped up and Sona was out of position. Lattman avoided getting baited by Sona's bizarre trades towards the start and made sure that he got past the threat of being at an experience disadvantage through smart wave management instead. He only really went in when Sona was playing parallel and they were able to take isolated trades, abusing the windows where the opposing support was cosplaying Sona, eventually leading to a kill as 2 players. Remember, if you're stuck in silver, gold or whatever and your support seems pretty bad, then remember that the opposing support is usually going to be of similar level to your own and make similar mistakes. Lattman knows this and waited for opportunities when the Bard was misplaying and held himself back when his own support was misplaying. Alright, so that's it for this one. Please let us know in the comments if you like this style of